All right. I am taking a little deeper dive into Aggressive Steven off of its integrated tech solutions from Aesop Rock. Started, well, actually, our stepsister from down under started the process by sending that John Farnham to us. Honestly, yeah, the record player didn't work out as well as I thought, but it started me down the path of buying some albums. Hell, if it wasn't for the sport of Ravenous out there, that one wouldn't be sitting there. Certainly wouldn't be waiting on Black Hole Superette already ready to ship on the release day. I downloaded my a single yesterday. Was listening to it, and I've been thinking about this in the kitchen for a few days. We were gonna hop back into Float and get back there, but went over, checked out something on Ravenous's page, was watching, and I'm like, I really like to reflect on this because when I started, I'm like, oh my God, this vocabulary, greatest thing in the world. Man, I just want to hear more big words. I'd heard pimp the hose and sell the crack enough that I didn't realize this level of lyrical content had existed even in the first place. And even if Ravenous has taken us the rest of the way, Mike Henry at the beginning of the channel turned us on to this stuff and just changed our life. But I also was like, man, this guy really hates authority. And because of changing trends in my own life, wanted to push back against that stance. Always with well, it's complicated. Well, yeah, but it's also his position, and he gets to have his position without prior knowledge of knowing why and how. I just kind of being a dink, and I've listened to this song a lot in the kitchen. I mean, ad nauseum, and I realize that in the bars here are the answer to the growth, to change, to realizing that as much as you might, let's say you just want to help the world and do the right thing, which is in the bars, when it gets closer to home, you have to deal with things certain ways. And the growth, well, when we get there, we'll discuss it because we're definitely going to listen to it again. Like I said, I've got the lyrics up in the background. I thought this time we'd take a closer look and see what kind of kick-ass place he's living in because that's a part of it. But really, it's towards the last act of the song. It's figuring out what they're going to do with Steven, where a conversation takes place. And I'm like, well, it deals with the truth of it all. And you filter the anger out of the truth and you get something more complicated. And I think it plays out really well in this song. Aggressive Steven, Aesop Rock. This is the second time, deeper dive. So, we'll get done in a half hour.
Got home one morning, maybe 10 o'clock. Grabbed a coffee, ran into my friend outside the hair salon. She said she on a break and she come up and roll a J.
And then, even if I noticed it, I never, I'm a little overly supportive of the THC treatment. I never really caught that line. Wasn't really paying attention to it. That Abby, even though Abby's not her name, was there to come up and smoke one. And I'm like, well, man, in theory, this is the facsimile of that experience. It's not real, but that's the idea. Hook it up with someone, spend it a few minutes, smoke it. Honestly, if you want to hang out and smoke one. And it's just with Rollen, and Rollen isn't my name. But, it works the same way. I hadn't actually noticed that before too much. Even if I noticed it, I didn't think about it. I don't even think about it when I'm listening to it because I use this song to yell at the cat now. Plain and simple, even at Edge. Listen to it. And I'm like, when the cat jumps on us, hey, you got to get down right now. And then if I get her to yell too, it's a super surreal Aesop Rock moment with my own cat, whose name isn't Kirby, but he's cool.
We'll say your name is Abby, though Abby is not her name. Okay. Skin the vibe, talking neighborhood gossip. Elevator to amazing, snake around on my spot. Before the key hit the lock, she was asking me, is that yours? Beside the door, a navy button down, pulled up on the floor. Weird. I'll take a knee on some, I do have one like it, but no. And pick it up slow to reveal a few of the items. Abigail like, oh, that is certainly a tweaker's pile of stuff. A realization that demand a weaker tea inside my cup. White noise humming in my ear to the wood.
Okay. I don't ever... The tea. It's... Okay, there it is. Oh, that is... Is that God, a realization that demanded a weaker tea inside my cup? White noise humming in my ear to the wood. Oh, I hear the... Okay. I hear the bathwater running. Something is clear. Okay, yeah. Is that really is that a it sobered me up reference to the J? But no, they never rolled the J. I realized you demanded a weaker cup of tea inside my cup. I wonder if that's just really like a Now, is that like, gosh, I don't want to get hung up on that one. We're not here for that. We're here for him dealing with the authorities when they finally. We're here to deal about with the nuances of a life at risk when they're hanging from your rafters. Not being persecuted by the man and something like that. No, they're tripping balls in your house at this point. Well, then it gets really real at that point, right? When it hits that close to home. So that is the point.
What are running, something is clearly afoot. Someone is clearly inside. I look at Abby like I'm going in. Maybe you should stay here. She said, no, I'm in. Be cautious. Keep calm. Sneak the door open. The apartment is tossed. Everything everywhere all at once. All the faucets are on. Let's draw the room so you can better picture all the befalls. I got this loft that when you walk in, the ceilings are pretty normal. Then a dozen feet later, it's 20 feet of beams and mortar. I inch in far enough to peek around that first corner. No sign of life in the bathroom, only debris and disorder. We baby stepping 7 feet in where the kitchen begin. Records and books in a sink. The conditions start to sink in. Another view to that Rubicon where the pad opens up to see the answer to my questions in the rafters above. There is a man with no shirt on, wearing his pants around his ankles, jungle gymming over both us. I mean, we are talking angles. He's mumbling incoherently, there's something in his system. I'm processing but need to make decisions. Okay, let's go. Hey, you need to get down right now. Abby yelling, get the down and get out. He's on a different planet, drifting to a distant moon. I'm pretty sure he don't even know we are in the room. Hey. Drifting to a distant moon. I'm pretty sure he don't even know we are in the room. Hey, you need to get down right now. Get the down and get out.
I don't remember what happened the first time. Damn it. Shit, that got complicated. So what happened is this. Looks like the first time we did this, it was dropped by Rhymesayers Entertainment, the label behind it, right? Or part of the system it's being created through. When we find it through Rhyme Sayers.
Get down right now. Get the fuck down and get out.
Because we don't come across this much. But I'm not a big fan of censorship. And, but, to be fair, I grabbed it from Aesop's channel. And let's be blunt, if he wants to do something to improve his abilities to monetize something that he has permission to, or it's his to monetize, oh, fudgesicles, I'm not trying to talk like I know anything. I don't. I'm just going to go with maybe Rhyme Sayers can afford to check more boxes than the artists themselves. But we're going to switch back over to the Rhyme Sayers copy because I didn't want that to throw us off. And you might be offended by language that is totally permissible. Go to the G version of entertainment and stay there. Blessing your heart. I don't mean offense. I'm just... It's in the song. Beeping it out doesn't get the children to beep it out in their head. Ignorance is not really this out of sight, out of mind idea. Well, if they beep it out, it's not really there. Bullshit. Bullshit. That is a cop-out from the intimidated and the scared. No, you just can't handle it and you're okay with censorship. I just, we're not letting this ruin that. But sad, don't like censorship, but he's got to do what he's got to do because I'm sure it's the cursing checkbox he doesn't want to. It's timed. If you use the Effenheimer in a certain amount of time from the beginning of the video, it's a checkbox. You bam, check that box. You cursor.
Get the fuck down and get out. Get the fuck down and get out. This isn't working, the energy is berserk, and we're backing up to the hallway, then down to the office nervous. Yeah, hi. So there's a naked guy in my ceiling. The staff look up at me tripping like, oh my god, is it Steven? Who the fuck is fucking Steven? Y'all seem to know some shit I don't. I ain't exactly need. I'm the manager on some he in this building have got some history. Will attempt to go and talk him down, but also called the city. 30 go by when the elevator ding and drop a trio in the lobby and heaven and nature sing. It's the manager and super with a man in my nights. Oh, that's my leather too, rejected, but goddamn he look nice. Steven is glum and despondent, wafting a brutal bouquet. They sit him down on the sofa, he look confused and ashamed. But if I'm honest, also looks like he could pull out a blade. That's when two officers show up and all is fully explained.
Okay.
Okay, the police saw what Steven is.
All right. So when it gets here, it's what it is there's been so many opportunities where that say authority is problematic. Yeah, no, an old cop told me to get a life. Which I actually think is one of the strongest shots he's done. Because there's the in your face, I just fucked them pigs. And then there's that bar and that line, and it's pretty smart. Pretty smart. So when we got here and first time I heard it, I realized, oh, well, hitting close to home, it's a whole nother animal. And the reflecting the bars about the interplay back and forth. All right. I think it's good when you can tell the story and not always take the shot. And it seemed like there was years of, I don't like authority that much, that could have been peppered into this section, and it's not. The one moment where I believe he's mocking them is when do you want to be the victim part? But then if you listen to how it's explained, instantly comes back to humanizing the moment, not you're a big meanie, blah, blah, blah. I really need to get some answers because it turns out it's my rafters he's, teabagging. He's up there just, vaulting around the room or in the parallel bars, I guess. I'm not a big gymnast fanatic. My point is then he doesn't really want him. See, there's the nuance of a human at risk. I don't want him to go to jail, right? But at the same time, you got to get out of your rafters. This is that whole, this song actually reflects on that state of, let's say we were a little more, let's just do what we want. Authority. We could keep ourselves in check. Well, without someone getting paid to deal with it in a semi-appropriate manner, what are you doing? Well, you give up your home to the violator, go in there and risk whatever. It's that whole where, we definitely need that balance, because otherwise you getting the crackheads out of your ceiling. And a lot of people just aren't prepared. They're happier to live in the world where they ignore the crackheads. Now, maybe there's where the breakdown in it all happens. And that the actual nuances, we let it all get too far. I mean, aren't they? Maybe that was some AI hoaxing, but aren't they going to give the homeless as much fentanyl as they want in California? Now, isn't that kind of like a just asking for the problem to resolve itself by letting it OD itself out of existence? I mean, that can't really be the answer, can it? Because just like here, doesn't need a felony, doesn't need a cell, but they need programs that actually work, that aren't virtue signaling cash grabs by a-holes who think they know better. Hell, it wasn't until I got out of the entire treatment system I actually got clean. It didn't help at all, right? It just perpetuated all the problems I was dealing with. But I really find this next section of bars reflective upon growth. I think Aesop had to deal with some stuff in his real life, possibly. Seems like this is really a real story. And if that's the case, I'm 100% proud. Not proud. That is stupid. It implies like I have some connection. I just really like that there's a little shot in there as the cop is robotic doing his thing. But even admitting, hey, I'm kind of scared. Can we move around the corner? I don't want Cracky McGee to hear me, because he might just go even more feral. And it's here, so I just think it's fair to realize that it's fine to help the people who want help until you realize that they will bite the hand that feeds them. And that's a tough realization, right? It's a tough realization that best treatment center I was in, I was robbed blind. My roommates stole everything I owned so they could go relapse, because all they were looking for was the first chance to score. And the answer to that was tough shit. Too bad you weren't supposed to have anything. It's instead of creating a system that pays people to feel like they're helping, maybe we have to find and create actual help. Because I think there's a lot of aggressive Stevens out there that need saving.
Okay, the police are with Steven to see if he's even lucid. I'm on the other side of the lobby, completely stupid. The super and the manager finally get a sec to offer some backstory about this morning's events. They tell me Steven suffers from mental illness and drug addiction. His episodes have kept him in and out the shelter system. Some lady in the building used to give him her couch, but his condition led to far too many issues to count. He's even scaled up the building before and jimmied inside and been aggressive with the tenants like infinity time. He not permitted on the premises, but this is your life. That's when the officer invited me to give him my sign. I said, well, first of all, I ain't the one to call.
I don't think I ever really caught it that tight. So yeah, I mean, it is more complicated even than I thought. I think he's being really fair because Steven got himself some big old problems. In fact, so much that he's going to need way more professional help than citizens hoping Steven will be okay. Isn't that the problem with wanting to save the world? What we really have is hope that the world can be saved. But our individual actions sometimes fall short, leave us hollow. But being able to at least admit and then call it out for what it is like, hey, this guy, you know, he is actually kind of scared people on multiple occasions. Broke in. I mean, so many times we stopped counting. He's not really allowed to be here. So I didn't notice that. So I mean, they definitely need the help, which is the whole point of admitting. I find it interesting, the reflecting upon it, as you kind of hated on that system in a lot of other places. So it does. I truly believe there's maturity in the storytelling. That's what I've been looking to say right there. I think it represents maturity in the storytelling and a break from an angrier position to a more nuanced position because, man, that's what it's going to take to deal with a life shattered.
But also we're like a meter from the player involved. I can brief you on the basics if the aim is resolved, but I ain't trying to agitate him if I say something wrong. How about we move 10 feet around the corner to talk? He said I can't leave my partner alone with someone that's gone. Okay, seems fast to be at an impasse. Then he pulls the pen and paper out and this is what he asks. Do you wanna be the victim? What? No, I didn't want it. I'm not sure what you want. Do you wanna be the...
And I do. I see this part exactly like an old cop told me to get a life. Excuse me. The same level of humor, I think, actually, an indictment. Creatively put. But the fact, and then here, I think what makes me, I believe, represents the maturity, and not that I know. God, I feel like I'm trying to talk about some shit I know about, and I know I don't know about shit. But it does feel that way to me. Like he brings it back, and it's even though he's get the mocking moment, brings it back to the reality of it, which shows the maturity.
Want it? I'm not sure what you want. Do you want to be the victim? Oh, you're doing a script of a communion about the nuance of a human at risk. How about we skip to where you tell me what the future can hold? He said a felony B&E and whatever he stole. We take him down to the jail and they put him back on the street. They just ain't got the kind of resources that Steven would need. I said he doesn't need a felony, he doesn't need a cell. Just got...
Now, to be fair, there's also a disconnect. Because as we were filled in on Steven's status, okay, he might not need a felony, he might not need a cell, or that cell might need a padded room. And it turns out that I think we went for a touchy-feely mental health care system when the evidence of people freaking out on street corners kind of says we need... Okay, we don't need Arkham Asylum, but we certainly need something... Something. I'm in no position to say. I don't actually have any answers. I'm not on the pitchfork and torch side. Bring back the asylums, lock them up. Well, God, no, I'm more over here. Moreover, here with that, it's a nuanced discussion, and even though I might not be very impressed with a human at risk, I don't think they should just be brushed under the rug. So, and I just, yep, growth. I truly believe that. And I think this is one of the places it's evident.
I said he doesn't need a felony, he doesn't need a cell. There's gotta be a way to get him headed for some help. He said programs exist, but none of them work.
And then they've been in film, like how they do edits and cut back and forth. And it's just in the dialogue here, it's so perfect. Because it's, he doesn't need a felony, he doesn't need a cell, got to get him some help. But then the actual answer, and yeah, it is the bleakest shit you ever heard, because it's most of the systems are created so the front offices can virtue signal. I'm not saying individual counselors don't want to save people, but all we have to do is look at how front office heavy therapy and help services are, and it starts getting confused. Like, really, you need a new beamer to do your job? It's so confusing. And then it happens. So it's like, man. And then, I never noticed that line either.
Charge him with the crime, I feed him back to the earth. That's the bleakest shit I ever heard. I don't even have the word. I'm about to run, see what evil was done. I guess the jacket was a gift, but he could leave in the dumps. Upstairs sucked. The cat's doing fine, the rest is just stuff. I just seen Steven eating lunch. ITS. It's the future.
The future. I don't want to slip into a commercial. No, I think yeah. No, you can bring up the lyrics and check that out and see what you think. If you couldn't follow along, I think he's that song is as clear and straightforward as it gets. It's also one of those tracks where you get to see a standard story everyone can understand. So then, at least in this one, you get a really good look at his storytelling ability for let's say, as highly consumable level as I think you can get here. It's like Kirby and a couple other tracks that you don't got to work. He's laying it all out. It could be a script. You could make a move that easily turns into a linear storytelling video, music video that, just, right? Pretty sure you could have watched that whole thing in your head as you're listening to it, I think, unless you're incapable of that position thing, which I didn't know existed. It's so weird. I don't understand. So yeah, I believe growth. I believe Aggressive Steven represents a little more growth in reflecting upon the inner workings of the need for authority, weirdly enough, because, having a tweaker break into your apartment's a real thing. And very cool. Very cool. I'll be back with more soon.